Good afternoon. My name is Ernesto. But just to get to get to the final project, I'm I'm noticing based on the last lesson because it's the one that marked me the most. Um, Cultural differences, our barriers, disadvantages, advantages by getting to teach English in a school. For me, it's different for another teachers that they do their classes in the city. Here in the small town where I teach, well, the context is that all my students or most of my students only see as far ahead as getting a job, finishing at the most middle school, and not taking into consideration English. Why? Because, well, for them it's not a tool. For them, they don't see it as a tool. And it's one of the barriers, one of the disadvantages that I have to change that mindset so that they can start, well, taking notice, taking into consideration English as a tool. Like I said on my essay, like I wrote on my essay, I tried to, give them from my personal experience that English has opened me a lot of doors, and it gave me great experiences just by speaking English. Some of them are taking the advice and are trying to pay attention. They are trying to see that there's more out there that what the small town brings to them, offers to them, because most of them, the only thing that they see is at the most getting a job, get married, and continue with their lives and not going out of the small town. Some of them tell me, why do I have to learn English? Why? If I'm not going to the US, if I'm not going to anywhere else. And I'll try to put that bug onto them that there's more out of the small town. Like I've also put on my essay. Well, it's hard for me because, like I've said, the context of the town limits the thinking of my students. Some of them are only taking the class just to pass it, and that's where I try to put them into the context of there's a lot of great things in culture. That's why also I think that culture needs to be brought more to the classroom so that they can see that they can relate on the environment that they live, that they can, that most of the books, movies, shows, comics, things that they like, even video games, come from the English culture. They are developed by English people. Some of the games come in English. So, just to make them notice that even if they are not going to use it for anything else, they can get culture. They can see into the arts. They can try to look up for, I don't know, like saw in the past lesson Shakespeare. They can look up for the plays, for his histories in English, and see how they changed on translation. And for me, that's the conclusion. It's a challenge that I gladly accept, just to change that mindset on my students. And that's what this lesson helped me to realize. Thank you very much.